Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're so glad you're here. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the remarkable career of one of the most influential television hosts in history, David Letterman. For more than 3 decades, Letterman entertained millions with his quick wit, unforgettable interviews, and a style that completely changed late-night television. But his story is about much more than comedy. It's about taking risks, believing in yourself, and proving that sometimes being different is exactly what the world needs. So let me ask you something before we begin. If you wanted to stand out in a world where everyone seems to be doing the same thing, would you follow the crowd? Or would you dare to be different? That's a question David Letterman answered throughout his entire career. Born in Indianapolis, Indiana, Letterman didn't grow up thinking he would become one of America's most recognizable television personalities. Like many people, he started with a passion but no clear roadmap to success. He attended college, studied broadcasting, and eventually found work in radio before making his way into television. Now think about that for a second. How many successful people actually begin at the top? The answer is almost none. Every success story starts somewhere, often with small opportunities that don't seem very important at the time. For Letterman, those early broadcasting jobs were more than just work. They were his classroom. Every show, every broadcast, and every challenge helped him sharpen his skills and discover his unique voice. Eventually, he moved to Los Angeles, hoping to build a career in comedy and television. But success didn't happen overnight. Like countless entertainers before him, he faced rejection, uncertainty, and moments when things could have gone very differently. Have you ever worked incredibly hard at something without seeing immediate results? It can be frustrating. But stories like Letterman's remind us that persistence often matters just as much as talent. Everything changed when he was given the opportunity to host Late Night with David Letterman. Now here's where things became interesting. Most late-night talk shows followed a familiar formula. The host sat behind a desk, interviewed celebrities, told jokes, and moved on. Letterman looked at that formula and thought, what if we did something completely different? Instead of playing it safe, he introduced bizarre comedy sketches, unexpected audience interactions, unusual stunts, and interviews that often felt more like genuine conversations than carefully planned television segments. Some people didn't know what to think. Others absolutely loved it. And that's the thing about innovation. When something is truly original, it often confuses people before it inspires them. Think about your own life. Have you ever had an idea that others doubted simply because it was different? Maybe the biggest breakthroughs happen when we stop worrying about fitting in. Letterman's unconventional style quickly earned him a loyal audience. Viewers never quite knew what would happen next, and that unpredictability became part of the excitement. His interviews stood out because they felt authentic. Instead of simply promoting a celebrity's latest movie or album, conversations often wandered into funny, surprising, and even deeply personal territory. That ability to make guests feel comfortable while keeping audiences entertained became one of his greatest strengths. Then came one of the biggest turning points of his career. In 1993, Letterman launched Late Show with David Letterman, beginning an entirely new chapter that would further cement his place in television history. Night after night, millions of viewers tuned in. He interviewed Hollywood stars, world leaders, athletes, musicians, comedians, authors, and countless other fascinating guests. But despite all those famous faces, the show never felt like it revolved around celebrity status alone. Instead, it revolved around curiosity. Letterman genuinely seemed interested in people. And maybe that's what made his interviews so memorable. Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone asked you a question and truly listened to your answer? Real conversations are becoming surprisingly rare. Perhaps that's why Letterman's interview style continues to resonate even today. Over the years, he became known for memorable moments that blended humor with honesty. He wasn't afraid to laugh at himself, challenge expectations, or acknowledge awkward situations. That level of authenticity built trust with audiences. Because, let's face it, nobody is perfect, and pretending to be perfect usually makes people less relatable, not more. As television evolved, new competitors entered the late-night landscape. Audiences changed. Technology changed. Social media transformed entertainment. Yet Letterman managed to remain relevant for decades.
How?
Not because he chased every trend, but because he stayed true to who he was while continuing to evolve. There's a valuable lesson in that. Success doesn't always mean changing your identity. Sometimes it means improving while staying authentic. After more than 30 years in late-night television, Letterman decided to retire from his nightly show. For many people, that would have been the end of an extraordinary career. But retirement didn't mean disappearing. Instead, he returned with My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, a completely different kind of interview series. This time, the conversations were longer, deeper, and more reflective. Instead of rushing through multiple guests each night, Letterman focused on meaningful discussions with remarkable individuals from entertainment, politics, sports, science, and beyond. It was another reminder that great communicators never stop growing. Here's something worth thinking about. What if success isn't about doing the same thing forever? What if real success comes from knowing when it's time to evolve? Letterman's willingness to reinvent himself has become one of the defining themes of his career. Outside of television, he's also supported charitable causes, invested in businesses. If you enjoyed this look at the remarkable life and career of David Letterman, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps the channel grow and allows us to continue bringing you inspiring stories about the people who have shaped entertainment, culture, and history. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next video.